another Louise Henderson Souvenir Cookbook to look at. This one is just like Mother made Ozark recipes. Very cute little vintage cover. So we're going to look this time at a dessert because we've been doing a ton of dinners in a row, and I kind of wanted to break up the pattern a little bit. And also, I had some apples that I just really need to use up. So this calls for 2.5 cups. I think that's going to be quite a bit and will help me. We're going to do this apple pie cake. Doesn't that look good? So I have everything out that I need. Now, I'm assuming that it's going to be this kind of pan, but now that I think about it, it might actually be a different kind of pan. I'm just going to mix it up and we'll see how much batter we have to see what kind of pan we need to pull out. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and peel and dice all of these. Then we will come back together, throw that batter in a bowl, and we're basically done. So let's get started. All right, I got the apples done, so we are ready to get started. I'm going to be using King Arthur's gluten-free flour, but feel free if you do not need to do that to use regular flour. We just need 1 cup of that, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. We're going to need our salt. I'm going to go ahead and cut in the shortening before I put in the spices. So we're going to do our teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of the nutmeg. Oh, this smells so good already. I don't know why, but this smells like one of those places you would go to, like a historical reenactment place, and they're baking on the fire. That's what it smells like, something they would make with this nutmeg and apples and cinnamon. I'm going to go ahead and put our apples in. Now we've got our teaspoon of vanilla to make this smell even better. We've got our 2 tablespoons of hot water. And last is going to go our pecans. Now I put in some extra pecans because that's how I like it. But if you don't want to do that, you can just stick right with the recipe. And now we get to decide what size pan are we going to put this in. I have this pan, but I also have this one. And after I've seen how much is in the bowl, I'm kind of leaning towards this 9x9. So let's go ahead and grease this one and try this out. All right, I think that was the right call. So this is going to go into the oven and we are almost done. Now let's take a little bit of a peek inside this cookbook to see if it's something you might want to pick up. We do have a copyright of 1964, so this one is older than the one that I showed last week. Now, one of the biggest changes I would say in this one is we don't have any of that kind of stereotypical Southern vernacular in the cookbook. It's very straightforward, and there's no possum, raccoon, and rabbit, and that kind of thing recipes in here. It's all pretty standard recipes, I would say. I think the little illustrations are cute, very 1960s, so I did appreciate that. We start out with our beverages, and there's actually some really interesting drinks in here that I wouldn't mind pulling out and trying like on a really hot summer day. I think some of these ciders and cold teas would be really good. We've got some breads, some of them with some odd names. Like, I couldn't figure out what made this a Chinese coffee cake. And then we also have something called Mother's Gems, Kentucky biscuits. You know, we've got some things in here that are pretty interesting that I've actually never heard before. Then, of course, we have our pretty standard cookies and cakes. But there was something pretty interesting that I found in this one. First off, we have an old-fashioned vinegar pie. Now, this is something that is still made on Clinch Mountain. If any of you have ever been through there, going from south to north or north to south, you might have stopped there and got you a slice of vinegar pie. So this is something that is pretty indicative of the area. And then I thought this was interesting. We have Canadian war cake. That's something that was used during rationing in World War I and World War II. And we also have this eggless, milkless, butterless cake, which was used during the First World War. But then it was also brought back out in World War II during rationing here in the US and Britain. I would say that the main dishes are pretty tried and true. I didn't see anything in here that was too crazy. We've got best hamburgers, you got pan-fried fish, you've got chicken, you've got all kinds of things that, you know, we've seen in other cookbooks before, and they were pretty good. So I don't see why they wouldn't be good out of this one also. You've got some salads and vegetables. Nothing too crazy in here. You do have a few of your like Jello salads that was really popular in the 60s. I would say from the 60s to the 80s. You know, I've had quite a few of those little Jello salads myself when I was growing up. And then you have some miscellaneous. These are usually where she puts like the canning section. So, you know, you can make some peach preserves. I thought this was interesting. Corn cob jelly. I've never had that. But that's something that I think would be really interesting to try. Now this one looks really interesting to can. Last of the Garden from 1927, and you can see it would be pretty much, you know, what you would get out of your garden, you know, as right before you need to pull it up before fall. I like the fact that it puts 5 cents worth of mixed spices, but it doesn't tell you what those spices are. I'm assuming pickling spices because there's vinegar and sugar and salt. So you would probably put your pickling spices in that. So not too crazy. I think it's pretty cute. It's got some interesting recipes in there. So I would recommend this one if you can find this for a couple dollars on eBay and you really like collecting little souvenir cookbooks like this. Oh, I just pulled this out of the oven. I think it's done. It looks good. It smells good. We're gonna see if Mitch can come out for a taste test out of his office. If not, it might just be me. But either way, this looks wonderful. All right, Mitch has a few minutes from work. He can come out and try this. So he's gonna be our guinea pig. Certainly smells good. Mm-hmm. All right. You ready? Probably now it's going to be really hot. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, be careful. Because the apples are going to be really hot too. Is it good?
It's very good.
Really?
Yeah, a lot more flavor in it than I was expecting. I thought it'd just be like sweet, but...
Yeah, it's got like, nutmeg, cinnamon.
I was gonna say, I can tell like a nuttiness to it.
Wow, yeah. Okay, great. Now it'd be even better with some vanilla ice cream, I think, but we don't have any, so we'll have to wait on that one.
Well, I'm gonna take this back to work.
All right, see you later. Or I should say, see you for dinner. Yeah. Now it's my turn. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Oh, that's good. It's so surprising because it didn't look that good when you dump it into the cake pan. But man, is this really flavorful. I'm just really surprised it turned out this good. I mean, it smelled really good. But you know, that can be deceiving, especially after it's baked. Oh yeah, that's really good. I would definitely try that again, especially when I've got a lot of apples I need to use up like I had today. This is a perfect way to give those apples new life. So, there you go. We had another little Louise Henderson cookbook. I think this one is totally cute. I'd pull this out again and try some other recipes out of it. I'm very happy with it. Like I said, I only got it for a couple dollars on eBay. So I got a really good bang for my buck because there's some other things in here that I think would be worth it to get this cookbook back out. So there you go. Hope you tried this. It was super simple. Didn't take long at all. And those are some of the best recipes when you can throw them together and it's got limited ingredients, but they're all really good. And then it just comes together for a great punch of taste right at the end. So thanks for watching this episode, and I will see you in the next one, where we're going to look at yet another little souvenir cookbook by Louise Henderson. So I'll see you then. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.